Hello everyone, welcome to Conjunctions in Astrology. Venus in conjunction to Saturn in your chart. How will this be? It's a mighty and karmic conjunction in your life. It can affect so much. Also, we're going to be looking at sign and house position. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. And if the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. First of all, do you actually have a conjunction of Venus and Saturn in your chart? You may think you have the conjunction, but you may not have. A conjunction in the ancient Vedic system is about planets being in the same sign together, because a sign equals a house. So, if two or more planets are in the same sign, no matter how far apart they are by degree, they are in conjunction. But if one planet is 29 degrees of one sign, let's say, and the other planet at 0 of the next sign, that's not a conjunction, even though they are only 1 degree apart in space, because they are in different signs, therefore different houses, with a completely different lord. Another point to consider is the nakshatra. If planets are in a different nakshatra but in the same sign, are they still forming conjunction? Most definitely they are, because the nakshatra just gives them an internal experience, but they're still in the same sign, they're still sharing the experience of that house, and they are still in a conjunction. So when Venus and Saturn are in the same sidereal sign, you definitely have a conjunction of these two planets. First of all, let's look at the energies involved. Who then is Venus? Venus is known as Sukra in the Vedic system. He rules all the luxuries and joys of life. He rules entertainment, the arts, music skills, dancing skills, all of the things that we enjoy when we relax and make us feel happy. These are ruled by Venus. But Venus's primary purpose is actually to bring us together with other human beings for reproduction. He actually rules semen itself. All our close bonds and friendships with others come under the jurisdiction of Venus, particularly love relationships and marriage. He represents the wife in a male chart, but relationships for everyone. Venus also rules wealth, but wealth in terms of our ability to buy and indulge in the pleasures and luxuries of life. And who is Saturn? Saturn, known as Shani in the Vedic system, is the most powerful of all the grahas. He has the power to bring back to us the results of our past life karma. Primarily, these are the papa or sinful karmas. He is here to make sure that we receive the exact punishment due to us for our past deeds. So therefore, he can be much feared. But in truth, if he did not do this, we would have to go to much more fearful places. So it's good that we can work through these karmas in this lifetime. Shani therefore brings limitations, delays, obstructions, retributions of all sorts, sorrow, loss, and all fated factors. But please remember that Saturn also gives rewards. He rewards endurance, hard work, honesty, patience, and self-control. So when we show these consistently, he can give many blessings, and the blessings which Saturn gives are those which endure and are worth having. So what happens when the planet of love, reproduction, happiness in life, and all the joys and luxuries has come together with the stern Saturn, who is here to bring back our past karmas and punishment? Does this mean that there is no love, no enjoyment, no happiness in your life? Far from it. It's important to remember that Venus and Shani are mutual friends to each other, and that Shani gets exaltation in the sign of Venus in Libra. So over time, this conjunction can work out in a very satisfactory way, but there are many hurdles and many struggles and karmic factors which you often have to overcome. The maturity of Venus at 24 and then Saturn at 36 mark really big turning points in all this Venus-Saturn combination in your life. You will definitely make major relationship decisions then, or monetary factors may become crucial. Karmic factors just push you into the right path if you let that happen many times. But early on in life, teenage years, and really all through the 20s, even after Venus matures, there can be some difficulty. You see, Venus-Saturn gives a lack of confidence in yourself. There can be heartbreak. There can be a difficult relationship that you wanted to work, which cannot work. There can be a great disappointment in love, and it takes some people some time to recover from this, but ultimately it affects how you feel about yourself. Venus-Saturn can make you a big critic of yourself. You may be the most beautiful woman, the most handsome man, but you just cannot see the beauty or the good looks in yourself. You are endlessly fault finding in yourself. It's Saturn putting his weight and his heaviness onto Venus. And in a general way, Venus conjunct to Saturn can give difficulty expressing emotions, expressing your feelings to other people. You can love very deeply, but expressing these emotions can be a little bit difficult for you. Again, sign and aspects will make a difference. And it certainly gets better as you mature. As you get over the age of Saturn maturity 36, things loosen up just a little bit. You see, Saturn is certainly testing out this Venus factor in your life. Venus is water jala, so it's putting a dampener on the easy flow of emotions due to past karmic experience. One thing I've definitely seen is 2 or more serious relationships. Sometimes early in life you have a choice. Who do you marry? Later in life, there can be a big crisis point in a major relationship. Sometimes death of a partner can be there, or serious illness of a partner. But once again, Saturn normally gives you a chance of another relationship because he wants to keep those Venus lessons coming in your life. But by taking responsibility, by acting dutifully, Saturn will reward you with long-lasting relationship and stability eventually. Because Venus is also about childbirth, reproduction, as I've spoken about on the video, then Saturn here with Venus will give delays. Sometimes there is a late childbirth, or there are problems in a female chart, much else to see, of course, in regard to childbirth itself. And sometimes I have even seen infertility. Of course, in all matters of childbirth, it's very important to also see the moon position in the chart. Now, Venus-Saturn has one special factor for everybody, and that is over time, Venus-Saturn can give financial security. Slowly and slowly, he builds up your financial capabilities until late in life, there is more abundance and security around you. Venus-Saturn can also give a love of traditional factors. So you like artistry, which is traditional rather than too avant-garde, as it were. And you particularly like to collect old things. I've seen so many people with this Venus-Saturn love old furniture, old collections, antiques, etc. You love anything which is having value through time, old books, etc. Everything which brings back the past, ruled by Saturn, into your life is truly valued by you. So to summarize, in relationships, shani with Venus can be difficult early in life, but it definitely gets much better later in life. After 50 particularly, great stability, great family happiness, security can be there if you have given those dutiful karmas back. You see, past life Venus affairs didn't go smoothly. There was misuse of those Venus factors. So in this life, you're being tested to give your duty, to give commitment, to be really responsible. And it's strange because many people with this Venus-Saturn, even from an early age, seem to know this, that this is their karma to take responsibility. So very often Venus-Saturn doesn't exactly give the life and soul of the party type of person. You're not interested in frivolous social affairs. You're interested in stability, in commitment. And ultimately, this is good for you because this is what Saturn promises you over time. So don't be afraid if you're not as extrovert, as sociable maybe as some of your friends. You've got a special path and a special karma to follow. Looking at the sign placements now, but please don't forget to get the full detail. Check out Venus karmas in all signs and Saturn karmas in all signs. I will link those below. Venus and Saturn in Aries, Leo and Sagittarius, the fire signs, there's quite a difficulty here. You see, Venus is passionate. All of that water is being evaporated. Some of the tenderness goes and the passion and the desire becomes predominant. But Saturn is putting a damper on it all. So a lot of frustration, many roadblocks in your relationships or financial affairs can occur. Slowly over time, though, you learn to calm your emotions down and to be a little less egotistical in putting them forward. You're very idealistic, though, in all matters of love, but again, with time, you come down to earth a little bit, and this can help you find stability. Venus, Saturn in the air signs in Gemini, Libra and Aquarius can be quite ambitious in some ways, very hard working in your business and monetary factors, and it can give great business success and ability in these areas most definitely. You can manage money very well often in all of these earth signs, but here's the thing, do you manage communication? Venus and Saturn in all of the earth signs can give difficulty expressing emotion, especially in deep relationship situations. Venus and Saturn, though, in Libra is probably the strongest position, which can give great stability over time, depending on affliction or not. Venus and Saturn in the earth signs can give you great craftsmanship and ability to get the job done in any area of your life, depending on the house. Venus Saturn here gives you financial skills, accountancy skills, money dealing skills. So over time, it can be a very prosperous factor. In relationships, there can be delay because Venus in these earth signs is almost perfectionist, particularly when in Virgo and Capricorn, and there's a lot of criticism towards others and even towards the self. In time, you become more trusting. In the water signs, emotion is very deep and heartfelt, but Saturn is putting a damper on it. Very often you're having to hide your deepest feelings and emotions. But in all of these signs, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces, you have great artistic skill, which you need to bring to the fore. In Scorpio and Cancer, though Venus is struggling in these signs, there is possessiveness, insecurity, and even manipulative behavior in relationships in Scorpio. Watch out for those. Saturn will create more problems here. Being honest and open and not being afraid to express emotions, not being too clingy, everything will work out over time. In Pisces, it's probably the best placement. Venus, Saturn here can give a soulmate relationship and great happiness over time. Now the houses. For a detailed description of Venus and Saturn in all the houses, please check the playlist below. Depending on the sign, having Venus and Saturn first house, you put a great deal of store by your social life, by getting to know people, by being in society. But there's an inner lack of self-confidence in your own looks, appearance, and your health can sometimes suffer. Saturn here puts a lot of pressure on your health, particularly bones and skin, etc. Venus and Saturn in the fourth house affects early upbringing. There's a lot of desire to find security in life, a love of the home, a love of your country of origin. But often there are conflicts there that need to be worked out slowly over time. You can do very well in property dealing with this position. Venus and Saturn 7th house can give more than one relationship or splits in relationship, and there are monetary factors to be considered. But Venus and Saturn is here for the long haul. So over time, with a benefic aspect of Jupiter in particular, you can find satisfaction in your relationships. It's all about having trust in yourself and in others. With Venus close to Saturn in the 7th house, you have to come down to earth over time. Your idealistic expectations cannot always be met in relationships, but that doesn't mean that you can't be happy. That's the important factor. Venus and Saturn 10th house can make you terribly hardworking, really purposeful in your career, and you get a lot of help from other people. But Venus is not happy 10th house, so you get diverted all the time. Maybe even romance in your workplace might be controversial and cause you some problems. In the 3rd, 6th and 11th house, you gain over time from your ability to overcome enmity. Saturn is strong in all of these houses, but you have to go through quite a lot of difficulty. You're always torn between fighting the enemies and just letting things be. So sometimes you're extremely competitive and sometimes you just lay back and let things go. In the 3rd house, Venus and Saturn can get you great monetary gain from your skill base according to sign and aspects. This could be writing skills, musical skills, anything to do with media especially. But don't forget that from the 10th house, Saturn is actually 6 houses away from his natural Karaka house. So there can be a lot of enmity and competition which you have to overcome. Venus Saturn, the 11th house, is a great help in business factors. You get a lot of support from your family, even financial support. You can get a lot of growth over time financially, just slowly and with constant application with this position. But there can be difficulties in your network circles, friendship circles, lack of trust sometimes, and sometimes even some backstabbing can occur. Be really careful who you get too close to and be honest at all time. Venus Saturn second house could give a very good growth in your wealth, particularly after 40 years of age. Before that, there's quite a bit of instability, especially with affliction. Very often, though, you get stability from your family of origin and help from them if it is well placed and is not afflicted. Over time, you also become very moral, very concerned about values in your life. Make sure that you don't get people's backs up a little bit in your family. There can be some contention over this. Venus Saturn in your 5th or your 9th house can delay education. There can be complete dropping out of education early in life and taking it up again sometimes later in life, or you just don't really believe in your abilities academically with this position. In the 5th house, issues with conceiving, conception, difficulty with a child, even infertility, but you have to see the moon. Late childbirth can be often seen. 9th house, difficulties with your mentors and gurus. A very important relationship with your father. There is a deep bond here, but maybe many differences in your value system. Venus Saturn 6th house, watch your communication with your friends and with your partner. Are you being honest? Is there real understanding between you? Occasionally this can show divorce, separation, litigation. All of these things can be seen even with your friendships, but more honesty and trust will make up for this. Venus is weak here. Watch your health, watch your digestion, and watch your food intake. Venus and Saturn in both the 8th and the 12th house, you have to watch financial matters really carefully. Venus Saturn in the 8th house can give a real up and down in any business partnership, depending on the sign. If it is well placed, well aspect, you can be a real wheeler dealer here, having huge gains from even stock markets sometimes. And Saturn can give longevity with Venus in this house because you get that fountain of youth going. So the 8th house has got a lot to commend it. But if there is affliction, there can be chronic health problems, occasionally seen also. You can have difficulties with your partner's family, with your in-laws, and wills, legacies may be very troublesome to you if there is affliction to this Venus Saturn in the 8th house. Venus Saturn 12th house can give very strong infatuations or strong feelings for people unexpectedly from time to time. It's all to do with past life karmas working themselves out again suddenly, especially in foreign lands. You're very much attracted to people from completely different cultures and upbringing to yourself. Venus Saturn here shows you must have a spiritual compatibility with your partner. You're a very private person, quite secretive in your feelings. You must take time to get to know somebody so that you can fully trust. Sometimes even long distance relationships can be shown by this position. And watch your finances. Venus Saturn 12th house can be really out of control with this, with huge expenses from time to time. Check out the karmas of both Venus and Saturn by sign up on your screen right now. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now and God bless everyone.